Okay, everyone. Thanks for joining. First and foremost, there's a lot of familiar faces in here, which is nice. So today is just going to be a really informative session on Nansen. Chris, we're lucky enough to have Chris that's spending some time with us today to kind of run through some best practices and how to get the best out of the actual platform itself. I know that there's been quite a few users that have signed up in the last couple of days. Now that the link is live, and myself have been on it for kind of 6 months, but there's always learnings to be taken from anywhere. So I'm really happy that Chris is here to kind of share those with us. If you want to start in a couple of minutes, Chris, I'll just kind of push a couple more people across, and then we can go from there. And the floor is yours, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we can give it, what do you say, another 2 minutes, and then we can go ahead and get started.
Yeah. I mean, I'm half Swiss, so my level of promptness for time is quite drastic.
Fair enough.
Yeah, whatever's, that everyone's got crazy agendas, and it's also the weekend, so everyone wants to get their learnings out of the way and then head into the Friday evening. So yeah, start whenever you're ready, mate. It's all yours.
All right, awesome. We'll give it another 30 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and dive right into it. I suppose while we wait here, just a few more moments, I'm assuming everyone can see the agenda for today. So on today's agenda, we have a few things that we're going to touch on. The first being a brief introduction of Nansen and myself, and then getting a general understanding of how to navigate Nansen. Then moving on from there, we'll dive into a bit more of a workflow where we'll take a look at our NFT Paradise tool, which gives us a general overview of everything taking place in the NFT market. Then NFT God Mode. This is going to give us our bottom-up analysis on a particular NFT collection. And then from there, we'll move into the rarity profiler, so we can judge how rare different traits are within the NFT collections. And then dive into smart money. And then lastly, we'll take a look and answer some questions that you may have. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So thank you all so much for taking the time to meet today. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to speak to everyone here, all the members here at Liquid Capital, and demo Nansen. So to start off, for those of you who may not be aware of Nansen or maybe just know it briefly, what we do here at Nansen is we aggregate blockchain data and provide you with analytics and easy to digest dashboards. And some of the main benefits of using Nansen is we have the capability to label different wallets. So what we can do is go ahead and label behaviors on particular wallets, such as high frequency traders, people who are NFT collectors, so on and so forth. And we'll dive into some of the tools that we have in our glossary in just a moment. So as you can see, I have Nansen loaded up here. And to go ahead and get started on the first aspect of our agenda, which is navigation, what you'll do is load up pro.nansen.ai. And then from there, you'll be presented here with this home screen. So on the home screen, you'll notice that there's quite a few widgets that we have here available, small dashboards that we've created to give you a 24-hour snapshot of a lot of what's taking place within the digital asset markets. But a lot of great information there. Let's focus our attention on the left-hand side for now. So in the upper left corner, you'll notice that there's the Ethereum network and a small drop-down menu. So clicking that drop-down menu is going to provide us with all of the chains that we have available here on the platform. Now, there were some questions in relation to what chains we have to offer and what do we have coming up in the future. So here are the current chains that we have on Nansen. In the near future, at the end of Q1 at least, we will be adding Solana. In addition to that, we'll have Lido, Arbitrum, and Optimism as well coming down the pipeline in the near future. Just below that, we have our quick access section. This is going to give us access to our most frequently used dashboards. Some of these that I've addressed in our agenda today, including smart money, NFT Paradise, and so on. And then a little bit further down, we have our general expandable categories where we can discover new projects. And from there, once we found an opportunity, we can perform due diligence. So we have a ton of tools here as well. Defending our portfolio, more tools in the NFT space, and then a few new projects that maybe we'll save for another time. So moving up to the right-hand corner in Nansen, you'll notice that there's two links for smart alerts and watch lists. So the real value add of Nansen is because we're able to label all of our wallets, or a large majority of them, we are able to now set up alerts on those wallets to be notified in real time when different transactions take place. So if you're tracking a smart NFT trader and that trader bought or sold a new NFT, you can be alerted of that. Or if there's a token that you're following that you'd like to be alerted of when large capital inflows from smart money come in, you can be alerted of that as well. So our standard subscribers can have up to 3 smart alerts, but if you're a VIP, you can actually have up to 100. So if I come over here to smart alerts, I'll show you a quick overview of how to do this. So I can select new alert, create new alert. Fairly straightforward. You'll name it what you'd like. And then from there, you can set your parameters, selecting your network, whether it's for all tokens or NFTs. And then you can add some more complex criteria as well. So if you're looking at NFTs, you can look at a particular collection or mints, and then select the different collections along with volume ranges or trader labels as well. Or if you wanted to do something more simple, you could just click the simple alert, either put in a project name, a wallet address, or a particular label as well. So I think this is a good segue to talk about our labels. But just before that, at the bottom, you can specify where you'd like to be alerted of these different alerts that would take place on the blockchain, whether it be Telegram, Discord, Slack. And you can get these on mobile. As long as you have the mobile app for these platforms, you can gain access to these alerts. So taking a look at our labels, Nansen is the big value add is being able to track these behaviors. And we have a glossary of these behaviors down here at the lower right. So if I select that green bubble for our Nansen Academy, we can take a look at the glossary, but you can also note that there are a variety of different videos we have available to walk you through the different platforms or dashboards that we have on Nansen. So I'll select wallet labels, what do they mean? And then I'll select read more, and this will provide us with our glossary. So this glossary is going to break everything down based upon segments. So we can see smart money, we can track public entities that are invest in crypto or manage their clients' money. We could take a look at different types of NFT traders, whether it be a smart NFT trader or a smart NFT minter. And then we have a few other wallet labels down here. So you'll see these on the platform from time to time. And if you need to get more information on them, you can come over to exactly where we are here. All right, so that covered wallet labels and our navigation section of Nansen. So moving on from there, I'd like to dive into our NFT Paradise tools. So what is NFT Paradise? NFT Paradise is essentially going to give us a look at a variety of different NFT marketplaces and digest all of the data that's available over these marketplaces. And one of the benefits of having the capability to sort through different marketplaces, which is actually a recent update on Nansen. So if I come up here to the upper left and select this menu here, this pencil icon, you'll notice that we're currently on all marketplaces. But if I click this drop-down menu, we can segment these marketplaces to get a little bit more clarity of the data in relation to whichever marketplace you're looking at. So the reason why this is important is because different marketplaces are now incentivizing traders to trade in order to receive rewards. So I know LooksRare is doing this. So I find that some of the data could be skewed to the artificial increase in volume on particular projects. Like MeBits, for example, is at the top of this leaderboard. But you'll notice if I change from all marketplaces just to OpenSea, the data will change significantly. So we see the volume for Bored Ape Yacht Club is at the top, as well as Clonex and Lives of Asuna. So this is some really useful information to kind of filter out what's taking place in terms of incentive-wise on marketplaces, and actually understand what the data per marketplace truly is. So just taking a quick look at the NFT market overview, we can see some standard metrics. Anything on Nansen where you have a different column header, you can go ahead and sort by that. We calculate market cap based upon the average price listed here multiplied by the amount of collections in circulation, or NFTs within that collection. In addition, we have some other traits and data points here, taking a look at the floor price, how that's changed over the past 24 hours, 3 days, and then the amount of wallets that hold this particular NFT collection. Then coming down, I like taking a look at this tool here to just see the top 5 collections and understand if they are in a trending market in terms of volume over the past 24 hours, or if they're in a range-bound market. And we can take a look at Clonex, for example. And within Clonex, we're forming higher highs and higher lows. And we've just made a higher low here in the volume, so could be something worth taking a look at. There may be an increased spike in volume there. And then for some of the other projects like Bored Ape Yacht Club, we see pretty significant decreases in volume, and that's kind of tapered off along with the other top 5 collections in trading volume on the day. And then another great tool that I find a lot of value in is the NFT profit leaderboard. So within this tool, we could take a look at the most profitable traders from our smart money segment. So you'll notice that there's a small nerd emoji next to a lot of these names, and that signifies that this person is smart money. So they've met the criteria that we took a look at in our NFT, or excuse me, our labeling glossary. And they were able to be highly profitable in terms of their trades in the NFT space. So I like to just kind of take a look through here, sort by profitability, see how profitable they were, taking a look at how many collections they bought and sold in order to generate return. And then another great tool is you have the capability to take a look at this individual's wallet and set a smart alert for it. So if I wanted to look at this person's wallet, I could right click it, go to the NFT wallet profiler, and this is going to give me a snapshot of this person's wallet in relation to the amount of NFTs they hold, the liquidity velocity related to the NFTs, and some stats on how profitable or unprofitable this person was. We can take a look at the realized gains. It looks like Art Blocks was some of their largest revenue in terms of selling this project. So if I wanted to create a smart alert when Metaverse Museum.eth is transacting, I can just simply click, copy the address, come into the smart alert section, create that new alert, set your parameters, and then enter this address here. And then of course, go ahead and set how you'd like to be notified. So coming back to NFT Paradise, that was the profit leaderboard. So if I scroll up a little bit further, we'll dive into the Mint Master section. Great. So here's the Mint Master. So the Mint Master is going to provide us with data and information, as opposed to maybe you are on social media, on Twitter, looking for the latest projects that are minting. And maybe there's a few loud people on Twitter that are kind of bolstering or hyping up the project. But that's why you'll be able to come into Nansen and verify as to whether or not that project the hype is actually legitimate behind it. So we have this latest mints tool, and there's 2 really key value adds in the latest mints Mint Master section. So the first is the FOMO level. So what's FOMO level? FOMO level is going to provide you with data and information as to how many minters there are on a project over the past 15 minutes. So as you can see, T-Thugs and Nomad Collection and Masked Billionaire Club, these are all relatively, they have hit the FOMO level meter. So this could be something worth noting. In addition to that, we can also take a look at smart minters. So smart minters are going to be these entities or wallets that are highly profitable when it comes to minting. So here on OMG Kirby, we have a medium FOMO level, quite a reasonable amount of minters, as well as 26 smart minters. So this could be something worth checking out, since smart money is investing their time into it. And then if you want to get a little bit more information on our scoring and details around latest mints, what you could do is hover over the eye icon on a majority of the dashboards that we have here on Nansen. And this is going to provide you with additional information as to what these different metrics mean in these columns. So as you can see, we're taking a look at the amount of minters in the last 15 minutes. And it looks like we have T-thugs as being high. So we have between 75 and 200 minters in the last 15 minutes. And the first mint took place about 3 hours ago. So that's taking a look at the latest mints. And then coming down a little bit further, we have some additional dashboards looking at the minting volume and then the amount of smart minters there are in the past 24 hours. And I like to use this as some sort of comparable analysis to see if the minting volume is on track with those who are smart minters. So for example, we don't have actually too many that are overlapping today, but well, we have Pop Art Cats. So this is coming in second place in terms of the amount of volume behind the project. And we do have a bit of smart minters on this project as well. So there could be some correlation there. But for example, we see T-thugs as being and we saw the high FOMO level and the amount of volume in mints, but we don't see too many smart money minters minting that project. So just something to keep in mind. And then coming down a little bit further, fairly straightforward data here. We can see the minting leaderboard, get a better understanding as to how profitable these minters were relative to their revenues and the amount of ETH spent. All right, so let's dive into the Nansen Blue Chip Index. I think this is pretty cool. So again, we're still looking at OpenSea as a total within the marketplace. And what we're doing here is Nansen went ahead and aggregated an index. So the benefit of putting together an index is aggregating all of those NFT collections that have the greatest amount of strength and the most amount of volume and greatest market cap behind them. So this is a great tool to potentially use as an opportunity. And I'll talk about some additional dashboards on here in just a moment where we could do that. So taking a look at the Nansen Blue Chip Index on the upper left, we can see the correlation between the market cap and the volume in ETH. And just kind of check to see if there's any divergences taking place on the market or the Blue Chip Index as a whole. We see some huge spikes in volume back here in early January. However, the volumes decreased back in mid-January, where, however, the market cap increased significantly. So we have some kind of divergence taking place there. And based upon that, we saw a little bit of a correction in terms of the total value or market cap of the Nansen Blue Chip Index. So potential opportunities to dive in or take a look at these collections. In addition to that, we're coming down a little bit further. We can take a look at the index as a whole, and then we'll dive into what I mentioned earlier in relation to potential opportunities. So the Nansen Blue Chip Index is going to be adjusted quarterly. So every quarter, members will fall in or out of the index, and we will have 19 members in total. And this is all going to be based upon the market cap calculation that I mentioned earlier, taking a look at the average price, multiplying it by the collection, which will give you the market cap. So you can see some of the most popular NFT collections are in here: Bored Ape Yacht Club, Lands, Meebits, Cyberkongs. And Cyberkongs is one that I was actually taking a look at yesterday at the collection as a whole. So yesterday, Cyberkongs was on the top 5 losses within the index. I believe it was down about 61%. And I've been watching cyberconks for a little bit of time, and because it's still a part of the index, it's relatively strong. So with that strength, it's important to keep an eye and remember that these are members of the Nansen Blue Chip Index. If they come up on the top 5 losses leaderboard, that could be a potential opportunity to look into. And being down 61% on the collection yesterday, we can see today the average price has increased by nearly 200% on the day. So some really big opportunities in looking at this Nansen Blue Chip Index section to get a better understanding of where the opportunities are on those losses within the index. All right, so let's dive into our NFT smart money, and then we'll move into our bottom-up analysis on a particular NFT project using our NFT God mode. So smart money, we had discussed earlier. You can reference that by going to the lower right and checking out our labels. So here we can go ahead and track all the transactions that have taken place from our smart money segment. I like to just go ahead and filter by the type and see what smart money minters, traders, or early adopters are doing with their positions. So we could see there's quite a lot of smart money buys on Fluff World burrows that have just been taking place over the past 30 minutes. And that could be something to kind of take a peek into. We were looking at OMG Kirby earlier. That was relatively high on the minting scale for smart minters, as well as on the FOMO level. And we can see that action taking place here as well. Then coming down a little bit further, we have a breakdown of all of the smart buys, smart sells, and smart mints on all of the projects based upon their the amount relative to the dashboard. So for example, Lives of Asuna was a pretty big popular project that I noticed yesterday. And we have about 17 smart buys, and we can see this on the histogram, a little bit of a breakdown here where a majority of the buyers are, and kind of broken down by smart minters, buyers, and sellers for Lives of Asuna. And fairly straightforward dashboards here as well, smart sells and smart mints in addition to that. And then lastly, we could just see the correlation between how much money smart money invests and what their return is typically when investing in these projects. All right, so that sums up our NFT paradise. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and dive into our NFT God mode tool. I'll come down here to our expandable categories in the NFT section, and then I will jump into NFT God mode. So as I mentioned earlier, NFT God mode is a great tool that will allow you to conduct this bottom-up analysis starting with a specific NFT collection. So if I go ahead and click this drop-down menu, it'll provide me with a list of options here. However, if I wanted to look at a collection that's on my mind and wanted to check out, I can do so. So if I just type in Mutant Ape Yacht Club, we can go ahead and do an analysis on this collection. So I'll select Show NFT Data. So first, snapshots, Overview tab. Overview tab is going to give you all of your general information on the collection. When it was deployed, how many are in circulation. We also have links to Etherscan and OpenSea if you'd like to do a little bit further digging on those platforms. Then coming down, similar to the other dashboards that we have, we can see the average price and volume, price range across the min, max, and average. And it looks like just taking a look at this line graph on the price of Mutant Ape Yacht Club as a whole, we can see that we're in a trending market. For the most part, we moved from lows of 12 ETH, looking back at the 31st of December of last year, and almost nearly doubling in terms of its overall average price. And coming down a little bit more, we have additional information, snapshots of the most frequently used or frequently looked at data in terms of average price, min price, how the floor price has changed in the last day, as well as how the max price has changed in the last day as well. And then another really great tip and tool down here is the option to take a look at individual transactions and really see where smart money has been purchasing these projects. So we had a smart NFT buyer purchase this down here on January 23rd at 1 ETH. And then we can see all of the other individuals. We have another smart money buyer right over here. So we can see where the average purchasing price since the 22nd has been, and where those who kind of paid a premium and those who were able to get in at a relatively cheaper price on the collection as a whole. Right, so let's take a look at the breakdown. So the breakdown here is going to give us some information on our balance changes, who's been buying the project, who's been offloading it. And it looks like, we have some people offloading the collection. Previously, they may have sold their entire Mutant Ape Yacht Club collection, because currently they have 0 NFTs and they just sold 12. That could be something to note. And this person, or they may have actually transferred. Maybe these wallets are connected. Maybe not. Probably not, because of the change in the amount of time here on the transaction. And then coming down a little bit further, we can see some of the top balances. So I like to look at this because it will show you an overview of who are the largest holders, and understanding who the largest holders are and how much they hold will help you to get a better understanding as to whether or not whales can really move the market with this particular collection. It looks like YFI Whale is one of the largest holders. There was about, I believe, nearly 18,000 within this collection. And here, Y Whales is the largest holder at 136 currently. Recently changed their position. They sold off 1. And over the last 7 days, they've accumulated 11. So something to keep in mind, and just understand who some of the largest holders are as well. And then we can take a look at the balance changes over time. So we see that YFI Whale, this person has just been continuously accumulating Mutant Ape Yacht Club, whereas actually, for the most part, everyone seems to be in a bit of a accumulation phase since December of last year. So that shows strength in the project, and they seem to be holding their collections from December till now. And then in addition to that, we could take a look at what smart money is doing with the Mutant Ape Yacht Club NFTs. So here at the top, we see an individual who is other. So this is all other. And that's really the only one that's been kind of tapering off in relation to smart money. For the most part, a lot of the smart money buyers, similar to the top buyers, are either holding their position over time, or relatively small few have been offloading it. So that shows strength in this Mutant Ape Yacht Club project as well. Then some quick additional statistics: settlement currency, majority in ETH. And if you're looking for the most liquidity, I'm assuming you would look to OpenSea if you were looking to buy or sell Mutant Ape Yacht Club NFTs. Right, and then for the sake of time, I'll run through this one relatively quickly, because we have a couple others to take a look at. So here we're looking at holders. We can see, as I mentioned earlier, the number of unique addresses that are holding this project has increased steadily since September of 2021. So that's a great sign of strength and diversification of holders in the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. You can also see the seniority distribution. A lot of people are holding this for at least 90 days to a year. So that's another sign of strength if you're doing analysis for a particular project. Smart money as well. Smart money, similar to what we saw previously. A lot of these people are either increasing in terms of those smart money holders, and some of the early adopters and the traders seem to be pretty linear in terms of their adjustment holdings. Some other cool tools: Diamond Hands, how long these individuals have been holding their projects, Probably we are not going to sell them, as well as some additional profit leaderboards, similar to what we saw in NFT Paradise previously, but this specifically for Mutant Ape Yacht Club. All right, taking a look at trades, fairly straightforward. We're smart money buying. As this loads, you can see this individual smart money transactions, smart money NFT traders, where they're buying this project, and then also taking a look at some of the top transactions recently. So let's go ahead and dive into, we have a rarity profiler, but this is a good segue to go ahead and move from NFT God mode into the rarity profiler itself. So here we can see all of the collections in circulation, the rank of each of these. And what we can do in rarity profiler is take a look at the specific traits of a collection and then see what the rarity score is for that. So if I come over down here to the rarity profiler, I'll go to Mutant Ape Yacht Club again, and then we can pick a particular trait. And then it'll show us how many of those are within that trait. So these are very rare Mutant Ape Yacht Club NFTs, and then some little bit less rare. And then we have tons of different traits and how many of them are per trait. So if we go to board dagger, for example, we can take a snapshot of what the rank is and the rarity score based upon the number of NFTs in that trait. And then if you hover over, you can take a quick look at that image. So this can be useful if you're eyeballing one of these projects. It could be something that could be of value to you as well. And then judging based on the rarity score, they look relatively good. All right. So lastly, before we give the last, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes for questions, we've covered so far general navigation, setting up smart alerts. In addition to that, we've also talked about our NFT Paradise tools, NFT token God mode, and then from there, we dove into our rarity profiler, so you can get a rarity score on traits from an NFT collection. So for this last section, I'd like to just take a look at smart money. So Nansen Smart Money is going to, as I mentioned earlier, provide us with all of those smart money labels who are profitable traders or profitable investors. And what I like to do is within smart money, I like to take a look at the fund segment. So funds are these public entities that are managing assets for their clients, and their goal is to be profitable because they have clients to answer to. So in theory, their strategies should be relatively sound. So if I click on fund here, we can see all of the DEX trades. Alameda is very heavily involved in providing liquidity on decentralized exchanges. But I'm going to hop over to the transaction section and then also take a look at the token holdings. So we can see where smart money and who they've been interacting with. Looks like Alameda Research is transferring tokens to an EIP 1559 user. Alameda Research is depositing tokens on the FTX exchange, 114 value in ETH. Could be something worth noting. In addition, we have a liquidity provider depositing money on Binance. Could be something worth noting as well. Maybe they're looking to make a purchase with this lull in the market. So let's take a look at token holdings. And within token holdings, we can see all of Smart Money's token holdings in terms of the fund, and then how these balance changes have changed over time. So looks like a lot of stable coins are being held right now. Magic Internet Money, UST, DAI, HUSD. And what I could do is take a look at one of these tokens or take a look and see how well these funds have performed. So Alameda Research could be a wallet to set up alerts on. They are kind of have the largest balance so far, and they're at the top of the Smart Money leaderboard, as well as the top of the fund leaderboard as well. And if you were to find a token on here, I'd like to use Luna as an example. So I have a pretty good example of what you could do based upon finding a smart money token. Is going to token God mode. I will search for Luna here. And I will see maybe you're conducting analysis on Luna. You want to see who the notable wallets are. One of the features that we have for our VIPs is you have the capability to filter. So if you wanted to filter by, a smart money wallet under top balances, so who holds the most Luna, you can click that filter icon, enter in that smart money emoji, and we can see that Parify is one of the largest holders of Luna. They own about 6% in terms of smart money. They've recently offloaded about 51,000 of their tokens, but let's take a deeper dive into this wallet here for the next 4 minutes. So here I'll go to Wallet Profiler for token. And what this is going to do is show me the interaction of Parify's wallet with Luna token. And this gives us some really great insights as to what Luna's strategy has been so far since they first received Luna token back in October of last year. So with this, we can see that they've had a large accumulation phase, and this brought the price of Luna from close to $30, $28 up to nearly, I believe we broke $100 just before the correction in the market. So from December, they just kind of held their position, and they recently started to take profits on it. So during the next run in the market, could be worth noting what Luna or Parify is going to be doing with its Luna token, or these other large new ecosystem tokens as well. So scrolling down a little bit, we can see those transactions taking place over the past, let me just sort here, since about December. And you could have set up smart alerts on this. It said, alert me when a token transfer of Luna is greater than set amount in US dollars. And then you would have been alerted about 3 times on December 3rd, and you would have seen this trend continuing with Parify, which could have been an indication to buy this Luna token. So that's a little bit of kind of an alpha workflow to give you some insight as to what the funds are doing with their capital. All right, so that is enough of me talking for now. I'm happy to address some of the questions that came in previously. I can address those first. I'll read them out and provide answers. And then afterwards, we can go ahead and dive into any other questions. I'm happy to stay a few minutes after to address any questions that anyone may have.
Amazing, Chris. Thank you so much for the presentation, mate. I mean, to be honest, I've learned some stuff as well. Smart money fund analysis. It's something that I haven't even looked at in the last 6 months using NANSEN. So I hope everyone got a huge amount of value out of that, as much as I did. And yeah, if we run through the questions that the community submitted a couple of days ago, and then we'll kind of just open the floor up. It will be a bit messy though, that's my only issue. So please, everyone, just take note of like who's talking and don't try and talk over everyone.
Okay, that sounds great. So one of the first questions that came in from viscera.eth was asked, what makes Nansen stand out amongst the other analytics software right now? So I would say this is like a multi answer. So we have our dashboards organized in terms of user friendliness, your capability to sort and filter out what it is in particular you're looking for. And then our big bread and butter is really allowing for the behavioral labels on wallets. In addition to that, let's say you're looking at the minting tool as well, as we took a look at Mint Master. So we could see the leaderboards, who's minting, who's making money, and then we have the capability to track this, whereas some of our competitors don't necessarily have these same tools so far. And then I believe that the same question, we actually have a few questions from Viscera. The next one was, what do they feel the most important features in the tool are? So when the market was moving quite significantly, and also maybe now that it's taken a bit of a dip in terms of the tokens themselves. Taking a look at smart money and the behaviors of these funds, I think that watching them and what they're doing with their capital right now, and at this point, they may be deploying it, or they may be holding it in stablecoin denominations, setting up alerts on their wallets, and then being notified when they take action, I think is going to be a really useful and valuable tool for yourself. And I think that's a really big feature on Nansen. So the next one, still same person. Are there any hidden or hard to find features that we should know about? So if you are on a VIP subscription, I would say the additional features that we have some new tools down here in multi-chain, so we can see how these different chains compare against Ethereum. So we could see the overview, how ETH has compared against Ethereum in terms of its users on a daily basis. So using ETH as a benchmark to see how well these other chains perform in terms of the gas being paid, the amount of transactions, and how much smart money is interacting on this chain that's being compared to Ethereum. In addition to that, if you're using our filters, filtering by the emojis is pretty important. So as I showed you all earlier, you can go ahead and click on the filter section and then load up an emoji if you're looking for a particular type of transaction. All right, so what is the future development plans for Nansen? So as I mentioned earlier, we are adding on new chains. So Lido, Optimism, Arbitrum, and then Solana for sure at the end of Q1. In addition to that, some other things that we're working on currently are building out the capability to create your own custom dashboards. So as you can see, a lot of the data that we have right now is maybe taking a look at the past 24 hours. Or if we're taking a look at a chart, we may only be able to see a certain time horizon. So I find it important to be able to adjust this time horizon or to adjust the layout of the dashboard. So in the near future, we will be offering the capability to create your own custom dashboards, which is going to be really cool. Some other things that we're going to do, maybe for some clients are interested in categorizing the different tokens by sector. So you can get a snapshot of the best performers within a sector, kind of similar to what you have in the traditional finance space. And if anyone is interested in providing any feedback,
it's a spokesman from there.
If anyone has any feedback on Nansen as a whole, and you'd like to maybe you're trying us out and you'd like to see something, I highly recommend, and I'll put this in the chat here. Silicon Alley, what's the best chat to put a link in? Would you say it's this Alpha Access lobby?
Yeah, if you just send it to me, actually, I can just pop it in. We've got a partnerships channel.
Perfect.
And then I can just pop it in there.
I'll send that over to you in just a moment after this. So we're really receptive to feedback. So if you have any feedback for us, I'll share that link, and you can go ahead and let us know what you think or what you'd like to see. And in relation to the next question is from Harbor Farmer. Can you highlight the most undervalued parts of the toolkit? So one thing that I did touch on, I would say the most undervalued parts, actually something that I neglected to talk about, which is our watch list. So it's kind of just sits up here in the upper right. We don't necessarily, I even skipped over it, but being able to add tokens, NFTs, or different wallets to your watch list is relatively important. Helps to keep them in mind, so you can check this when you first load up Nansen on the day, see what's taking place, see if their profit has changed, so on and so forth. And then if you're a standard subscriber and you're limited to 3 alerts. You can kind of toggle your alerts based upon your watch list and based upon whatever information you may find on the day. And if you want to ever add something to your watch list, you can come from any dashboard. You could right click and then add to watch list. So you could do that for tokens, NFTs, and wallets. And then the next question is from CassZ71. What's the refresh time on your data? So that's a great question. As you can see on these widgets, if you hover over them, it'll provide us with an update as to when the next possible update will be. So all of the data comes in on a block basis directly from the blockchain. So as soon as a transaction takes place, that block is then sent, so that latest data is available. But the data won't update until there's another transaction that takes place. So the next block is created. So dependent upon the dashboard and how frequently transactions take place, that data will come in accordingly. So for example, the stablecoin exchange flow, this typically won't update for another 20 hours or so. See if I hover over it. Oh, well, this one's next update is in 42 minutes. So at about 5 o'clock, this tends to update every day. So once a day. All right. So we have another question here is there any utility / tool trick to track for floor prices and provide portfolio alerts? So as mentioned earlier, we do have the capability to take a look at smart alerts and track those and be notified in real time when different transactions take place on different wallets, entities, labels, and so on. So we do have tools to view the floor price and how it's changed on the day. So for example, when I took a look at NFT Paradise on the 24-hour market overview, we can see how the floor price has changed on the collection as a whole. Excuse me. However, we're working on some new tools to incorporate, and our product manager is working on this, very, very soon, or has already begun. It should be released relatively soon to be able to track floor price on a graph and get a better data visual as to how the floor prices have changed. So the next question was from KCA. How accurate are they with live reveal analytics? Any lag? So we kind of touched on this question earlier. You'll note on our dashboards, it'll provide us with the next update. I believe if we're talking about like lag, I believe there's just a 4-minute delay in terms of the data. So once it gets put on the blockchain, on average, there's about a 4-minute delay, depending upon when the next block is created or how often those transactions come to pass. All right, next question still from KCA. Is there a chart that plots rarity and listing price somewhere? So we took a look at our rarity profiler. And here we took a look at, just pull up this heart project. We can see the last price. And then we can also see this chart here, which displays the average price for the collection along with the volume over time. So to answer your question, we do have rarity scores and the number of NFTs with that particular trait. Next question was from Chosen. So what are the most powerful tools being used at the moment, and how do you use them? So really, I tried to structure today's meeting to touch on the most powerful tools, those being our NFT tools and NFT Paradise, NFT God Mode to do that bottom-up analysis, and then taking a look at the smart money segment, as well as rarity profiles. If you wanted to kind of dive into the more token analysis, I'd recommend coming over to the diligence section. Once you find a token or address that you'd like to gather more information on, the diligence section here is really useful. So same question from Chosen. What are the key points of difference of Nansen versus other NFT analytic tools? So our big tool is the capability to track wallets through labeling, to track the most profitable traders and also watch what's taking place in their wallets. I would say in addition to that, we have a pretty comprehensive tool in terms of NFT Paradise to give you an analysis of the market as a whole. And then within NFT Paradise, another really value add tool is our Nansen Blue Chip Index. I really don't think that any other tools are creating an index for NFTs, and being able to track the performance of that index as a whole and add and remove members based upon their performance in relation to market cap and volume. All right, so the next and last question, something we addressed already actually, was what's the lag time in their collection of data, live refreshed every X amount of minutes. So touched on that one already in terms of the dashboards. Again, can hover over the widgets and it'll provide us with that next update time. So now I'd like to open it up. If anyone has any other questions, I'm happy to address them. Do we have
before that happens, sorry, Chris, to jump in.
Sure.
I had a couple of DMs in relation to kind of our pricing structure. So we're really fortunate enough to have partnership with Nansen and get an additional 20% off, and the link is kind of live in our partnerships tab. I've had quite a few people reach out to me. Obviously, that pricing structure is just for standard entity. We do have a lot of people in here that obviously can see the value in kind of moving up the echelons of the pricing structure. So I'm going to have a chat to the Nansen team again, just to see if we can kind of sort out a discount across the entire breadth of their package. But currently we're just sitting at 20%, an additional 20% off their standard package. So, but yeah, if everyone just leaves that with me, I'll kind of have that sorted in the next 48 hours and see if we can sort something out about moving up the packages, because I'm sure people can kind of see the value in the multitude of adding more watch lists, especially with VIP. And we've got some big alpha dogs in here as well that I'm sure that might want to vent around. Let me open the floor up to a quick little Q&A. I want to be conscious of time. Chris is busy, and obviously it's the weekend for everyone. Please don't talk over everybody. And Chris, maybe if this doesn't work out, maybe you can just stick around in the kind of member support section for 5 minutes and just do some keystrokes from there.
Sure, that sounds good. So in terms of the member support section, I'm sure you can see my screen here. Is it in this member? I see. Here we are.
That's the one, yeah. So yeah, if let's open the floor, guys. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and use the amazing tools that we have in front of us. Yeah, again, Chris, thank you so much. It's been such an informative presentation. I learned quite a lot and felt like I knew a fair amount about Nansen before, but now I feel like a bit of an idiot. So thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, the pleasure was mine, and I really enjoyed being able to present to everyone today. It was an honor to chat with the members of Illiquid Capital. So thank you all so much. So if anyone
questions,
any questions, yeah.
I believe we do.
Or if you're shy, if you don't want to chat, you can potentially post it in the member support.
Yeah, I think it might be the fact that everyone's muted themselves and is finding it tricky to unmute themselves. Let's just go ahead and cap this off here, and then if you can just stick around in member support, answer a few kind of Q&As, and then we can go from there. Also, to let everybody know, I have had a few people voice chats are capped at 200. Unfortunately, it's just the joys of Discord. This is all being recorded, and I will post it on the partnership section again, so you can kind of go through it at leisure and review everything that Chris has spoken about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll hang tight in the member support chat for another 5 minutes, address any questions you may have, and then we'll call it a day. And I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. And in Silicon Alley, I will go ahead and send you the recording just after.
Perfect. You're a superstar. Thanks for your time again today, Chris.
My pleasure. Thank you.